Hello, 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 folks. I am going to be broadcasting today the brand new content for the DLC for the game Destiny. So the new Rise of Iron came out on I want to say last Tuesday, which would have been the, I don't know, 22nd or something like that, or 20th. What I've already done is I've already done the majority of the missions for the game, but I'm gonna run through and go through the first 5 main missions, and that way you guys can get an idea of what the game is like. So it should be pretty fun. And if anyone has any questions or has any desire to get an idea of what's going on, all they gotta do is go ahead and hit me up in the chat. So first things first, I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to go through the primary mission. So basically this is what is known as the Cosmodrome. This is all the stuff that has been previously unlocked. And this stuff is also unlocked as well. The very first mission of the game, however, is this one right here. It's just King of the Mountain. And what we're going to do is we're going to unlock the new tower, I guess you could call it, of Fellwinter Peak. So let's get right into it. So as you can see, this is my gamer tag, Mad Mardigan 007, after my boy Val Kilmer and Willow. This was one of my really old school Halo names that I had, amongst others. One of my personal favorites was Ham Tyler. That's a character from the television show V, played by Michael Ironside, the fantastic Michael Ironside. And just joined a group of guys in the clan, Leroy's backup. Little shout out to the Leroy Jenkins phenomenon. But let's get into the mission here.
In the years after the collapse, the world had no guardians. It had only Iron Lords. Immortal, fearless, we fought to protect the survivors of a once great age. Our battle was about more than crawling back from the shadows. The Iron Lords would give humanity back its future.
So you guys are jumping in right at the beginning of the very first mission of the new DLC, Rise of Iron for Destiny. You're about to see some pretty cool stuff. Whew.
Some know the legend. But no one truly knows how the Iron Lords died their final deaths. That was something you had to be there for. To witness. To remember. To know even heroes can die. And survival is not always a victory. Now I am the lone sentry, and my watch is eternal, waiting for the day when whatever we disturbed awakens. The Iron Lords are gone, but our fight is far from over.
Alright, so that's the Great Lord Saladin.
The House of Devils is back, and they're digging into old Golden Age research labs all across the system. This isn't a simple smash and grab. They're on a mission. At first, the Vanguard wasn't particularly concerned. At least, not until the Devils decided to move back into the Cosmodrome. Now the Devils are shifting a massive amount of resources to an area nearby that's been dark for centuries. Normally, I'd say it's just another day. Except, what's really got everyone talking is that Lord Saladin has left his post at the Iron Banner to take charge of the situation personally. Only rather than go straight to the Cosmodrome, Saladin wants us to investigate an abandoned observatory in the mountains. Very strange.
Alright, so this is Fellwinter's Peak, first mission to get to the new tower area, Fellwinter's Peak. Anyone who's played Destiny knows that Lord Saladin, he's one of the Guardian NPCs at the tower. He lets you access the Iron Banner PvP, which is a form of the Crucible, aka multiplayer matches that they're a little bit more intense than regular Crucible.
My team and I are en route, but we won't get there in time. I need you to secure the observatory at the top. It is imperative the Fallen do not establish a foothold on that mountain.
Alright, so I've picked up a few weapons since the DLC dropped. Specifically, one of the more desired, the good old Gallahorn. I do have the Iron Gallahorn from the pre-order, however, they give it to you at level 3, so I have got rid of that. I'll put this on so you guys can see it in all of its awesome glory. And what I have been doing is I've been trying to level up my hand cannon and my sidearm kills in what they call the Grimoire score. It's more of a personal achievement. You don't really get anything from it in the game. But in fact, my hand cannon right now, this is the AS Luna. It's one of the better hand cannons in the game. It packs a lot of a kick. And I can kill one of these in one shot, which is more than I can say for most of my other weapons. Stab that guy in the face, and let's throw a grenade at this one. So I'm running right now as what they call the Void Walker, or I'm sorry, Void Shadow Shot, I believe is what it's called, the Night Stalker, Void class for the Hunter. The reason I've been doing that is there's a perk that allows you to see materials and chests, and just because there was an achievement to get that, that's pretty much what I've been doing. The other benefit is when there's quite a bit of heavy bad guys. Oh, you know what? I'm going to switch to my sniper rifle right now because we're about to get hit by some long distance. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm also going to drop a 3 of coins. So if no one's played this game before, there's a lot of really cool things you can do, but there's an item called the 3 of coins. You can see it says yada 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 about killing Ultra and or Crucible match wins. It gives you a chance to release an exotic. Exotics tend to be the better weapons in the game. There is an exotic drop possibility at the end of this game when you fight the final guy, the final boss. It's a servitor, giant servitor, which is I like to call them dubsteppers because that's what they sound like. They sound like a Skrillex song. Gigantic robots.
In the rear of the facility. If you can secure that, you should be able to keep them from the Iron Temple until we arrive.
Wait, Iron Temple? Like Iron Banner? Iron Lords?
Yes, exactly like that. You'll see these go off through the game every once in a while. And, oh geez, that did not kill him. That should have killed him. Yeah, die, 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 die. Another problem is when you're moving, it makes it a lot harder to snipe. Zoink.
I think there's more of them.
Die, you sack of crap. Alright, that was a headshot, if ever I saw one.
I don't think I like this little metal box anymore.
Yeah, me either. I'll tell you what, let's get the fuck out of it.
Can't take another hit like that. Jump!
That was the plan, Ghost.
I don't
So, a
understand.
little
If there's something so
trivia.
important up there,
My Ghost is being voiced by none other than prolific gaming actor, motion capper, and voice actor Nolan North. You may know his work from a little unknown PlayStation game called Uncharted. I think they made a couple of them. Nolan North replaced actor Peter Dinklage. So this is my other benefit of my shadow shot. If anyone comes near that, they're gonna get pinned down, and like that, make them easier to kill. So
you know, this is more than a few
Peter
falls.
Dinklage, also known as the Imp on Game of Thrones, he has been replaced. He did all the original voice work for the Ghost, all of the dialogue, and I don't know. I guess the creators of Destiny, Bungie, they always thought, as well as Activision, they had some part in the very beginning part of this game, the creation. They thought that his voice work was a little bland. If you don't believe them, all you gotta do is just look up some clips on YouTube, and you can find out that it was indeed a little bland. There's a really funny clip. There's these villains called Warlocks. Alright, I got some invisible fuckers running around here somewhere. Oh, hey, there's one right there. Yoink! Jesus H. Christ. Alright, buddy. Hey, what's that on your face? So there are these villains called wizards, and what they have a outpost on the moon. So there's this really classic line that Peter Dinklage says, and it says, "That wizard came from the moon," and it's just like the worst delivered line in like the history of voice acting, and people really gave him a hard time for it. I mean, they kind of probably should have, but it was really funny. So that's kind of like everyone's go-to example when they say that Peter Dinklage did a shitty job at the voice acting on this game. I actually think he did a decent job. People are really get a little, yeah, no shit. pardon any sound of ambulances and or loud motorcycles that drive by. It is a lovely day here in southeastern Michigan, and I have my windows open. Die. So this new area is pretty cool. Unfortunately, this is an area that you really only go to once. This is leading up to what's known as Fellwinter's Peak, which is the new area, the new tower. Here's our new bad guy. I am going to swap weapons real quick. Old Party Crasher. Let's reload that bad boy. This is one of the best shotguns in PvP, or at least it was until this DLC. It might still be.
It's supposed to be dead.
Sepix perfected.
And there's something odd in the energy signature.
So Sepix is just absolutely fucking devastating. If he hits me like 3 times, I'm gonna die.
Kill Sepix Guardian. Kill it now.
I'm a little bit stronger than I was when I started this DLC. Alright, here's some fucking creepy guy running around.
If that's what I think
Pardon my French.
The temple doors will not be strong enough to hold it back. You
No,
must
they won't.
destroy it before that happens.
Alright, so for those of you who are collectors like I am, in terms of, you know, gaming content and whatnot, there is a new item up on top of here. I'm not going to grade it this time, I already have it. It's called a Siva Core. It's basically one of the new collectibles in this game, the many collectibles. Okay, so my boy's weak here right now towards attack. He wasn't vulnerable when he first hits, and the goal is kill. Kill. Oh wait, didn't I promise you guys to see the Iron Gallahorn? I did. Question is, can I hit him? Of course I can hit him. I have heat-seeking rockets. So those secondary blasts that you see, those are an unlockable perk on the Gallahorn, and they're one of the better things that really devastates the bosses. Particularly, you son of a bitch.
Detecting reinforcements approaching your coordinates.
Oh, thanks, Saladin. A little late on the uptick. Holy shit. Like I said, Sepix is insanely powerful, and basically 2-3 direct shots, I'd probably die. Cheese and rice. Hey, what's that on your face? Alright, so good thing on this particular weapon I have danger close, which means if there's any more than 3 guys close to me, I do increased gun handling, I believe, and damage. It makes me a little bit more devastating.
You must hold the mountain guardian.
No shit. Alright, so my boy Sepix is almost dead here. I'm gonna pop him with the good old crossbow there. That's really gonna hurt him. However, it's not gonna hurt these guys. Holy shit. Okay, get out of here, boy. Get out of here. Yoink. I'm not even sure where he's located. There he is. That should keep them back for a hot minute. Where are you at, Sepix? How is he? Oh, wow. That's the sound of an exploder shank coming my way. I'd rather not be close to them when they die. Alright, this is what I want. Right here. There we go. Fuck those guys. There she blows. Alright. I was playing that cautious, so you guys wouldn't have to see me die. And I would have to live in eternal shame.
Break into an old temple?
Even old wolves still bite.
Ain't nothing like showing up at the last minute, Saladin.
Circling around to make sure the area is clear. Be there in a sec.
Well done, Guardian. The temple is secure. Now we can...
Shiro, get a lock on it.
I just picked up... Wait. Multiple impacts near the wall in Sector 17.
They're attacking the sensor grid.
They must know where Siva is. Guardian, go to the Cosmodrome immediately. If Sepix escapes, the Fallen won't be our only problem.
Alright, so the big bad, as far as this this DLC is what is known as Siva. So we don't exactly know what it is yet as of this point in the game. I won't spoil it or anything like that, although if you have read about it, you probably already know. It has something to do with the intro video that we saw at the beginning of this level. But what this does is it unlocks this level, level isn't the right word, but it unlocks what's known as the Tower, the Iron Temple. And we can go here once we have done the next mission, which I believe is the... I believe it is the walls come down. Yes, that's the correct one. You can usually just tell by the light level recommendations as to what they expect you to do next. Right now, the walls come down. If you were doing it at 290, like, my god, it would be pretty insanely difficult. You can do it on Heroic as well. I'm not going to do that right now, just for the expediency of getting through them. There is part of the, what is known now as the, I guess, achievements, yearly achievements, the record book, they call it. The record book does have an achievement for getting, I believe, 15 or 10 matches in Heroic. I have already collected quite a bit of these Siva clusters. As you unlock these various things, you get rewards of different types. I've got a couple. So Unstoppable, win consecutive matches in Crucible. I've only played one match in Crucible so far, and kicked the shit out of those people. Collecting crests. But there's a bunch of them. Most of them you don't know what they are until you kind of start them. And then as you start them, it'll unlock and give you an idea. So complete bounties for the Iron Lords. That's a weekly bounty, so there's only, I believe, 4 per week. So that's going to take everyone, even the the best of the best. It's going to take them a little while to get that. There are some other ones that are more obvious. Complete this specific level, complete these specific strikes, and so on and so forth. Nightfall strikes are a once per week strike. I don't know if you can do them, 5 in 1 week. Just repeat them, and it'll unlock. But yeah, these unlock some pretty good bonuses, including armor and weapons and such. See me dismantling stuff pretty regularly throughout this. There's been a change in the drop rates for items. They've been dropping a lot of green also known as uncommon items, and they are garbage. These are the bounties we're talking about. So I've already completed one of the 4 weekly bounties, and I've yet to kind of go through and complete some other ones. Haven't been playing a lot of Crucible lately. I've been leveling up another character on this game. I am very close to leveling up a couple of other things, however. I am part of the group, the Future War Cults. There's 3 different groups: the Future War Cult, the New Monarchy, and the Dead Orbit. For those who haven't played this, and I like Future War Cult. I don't know, their mentality seems to be kind of slightly pessimistic, if not realistic. The idea that, yes, unfortunately, there will always be a new bad guy, and there will always be a war to fight. I think that is kind of a pessimistic view on life, but also accurate. So the Vanguard reputation, I'm almost leveling up in the Vanguard, which is just the main, I guess the main good guys you could call them. But anyway, let's move on to the next mission. So this is someone is attacking the fortress. We're supposed to stop them from getting out of the fortress and getting access to what is known as Siva. We don't know what that is yet.
Lord Saladin, you said the Fallen knew about Siva, but I can't find a reference to Siva in the Vanguard database.
That's because I went to great lengths to lock it away. The records are in the Iron Temple.
So my
Okay,
buddy,
but if the Fallen already know about
who
Siva,
plays under the game of
then
tag
shouldn't
of Uncle Hatred,
What
was
we
kind
need
of
to do
saying
now
that
is track Sepix. If we find him,
if Saladin
we'll
was a
know the
good
extent of the
guy,
corruption.
he would have told people about the threat of Siva so that we could be prepared for it if it ever showed its ugly head again. I can't disagree with that.
Okay, I don't know which scares me more, the giant catch or whatever took a bite out of the wall.
Guardian, it's Shiro. You're gonna need some cover. Make for the Cosmodrome.
We need to get through that wall.
With most of the Kells gone, getting a force this large to work together is almost impossible. Saladin, you mentioned a sensor grid. Can we use that to tell how far this occupation extends?
The Fallen are irrelevant, Shiro. The only thing that matters now is finding Sepix.
Lots of fallen, but still no sign of Sepiks. What is that pattern over there? Can we take a closer look? I'm picking up some strange readings. It's like what was on Sepiks, but if I didn't know any better, I'd say this stuff is consuming everything around it.
That is Siva. With the proper direction, it could create anything a civilization would need. At least in theory.
Hive?
The Hive tend to keep to the dark. Something is driving them into the open.
Lost all readings from the sensor grid. There's a monitoring station near your location. Hook into it and try to get the grid back online.
No problem. There's not enough left of the sensor grid to fix. Wait. We can pull the logs from the monitoring station. Would that be enough to figure out what these Fallen are up to?
Do it.
Something weird incoming. These Fallen are different. They're augmented with some sort of technology, like Sepiks.
Augmented or not, we need that sensor data.
There's more of these machine Fallen inside. got everything I could out of the sensor logs.
Nice job, Guardian. But we still have to deal with Sepix.
We no longer need the servitor, Shiro. I've seen enough to know the Fallen have restarted production of Siva. Guardian, we've established a base at the Iron Temple. Join us here.
Alright, so this ship I have right here is actually one of the rarer ships in the game. It is titled, I cannot remember the name of it specifically. It is the Vienna Singer. This is a ship that you can only get while going for a weapon called the Black Spindle, which basically requires you to do a specific mission at a specific time, or at least it used to. And then during that mission, you had to kind of run off to a hidden area and beat an entirely ludicrous amount of bad guys in a specific period of time to get a weapon. You also had a chance to get a drop for a ship. I got that ship the last time I went and got the Black Spindle. I was very happy. My buddy did not get that ship. He was very sad and jealous, as well he should have been. Alright, so this is, I just realized I just kind of ran up in here. So, this is the new tower area. When you first get here, you have to light 3 braziers. That's gigantic fire pits for those of you without a vocabulary. And you light this brazier over here, or brazier, if you prefer. And then you light one in that end of the building, and then that end of the building. So the fire here does not hurt you, unfortunately. I like to just, you know, cheer while I'm sitting in the fire. Pretty much the only downside to this area is you have a vault. So you can access your weapons in the vault. Mine are getting pretty crazy because I've got a lot of stuff. The area is obviously gigantic and gorgeous, as most of they tend to be in this game. And then good old Lord Saladin, he is finally not wearing his helmet, revealing what his voice had already revealed, that he is a massive, awesome black guy. Which actually was kind of surprising. Yeah, there's, you know, not a whole lot of people of color in games. There's big popular characters, folks. That's what the Junkies are always trying to get across to people. They need to bring more. But there have been a lot of awesome character actors. Zavala is one of the leaders of the Titans, played by the same actor whose name escapes me. Who played Broyles in the show Fringe. Awesome actor. He's one of those guys who's just got one of those voices where you're like, yeah, this guy was born to be a voice actor or actor in general. This is the inside of the temple. For those who want a little bit of a inside track information, There are several bells in here, 6 to be precise. Each one of them rings a different tone. If you have 3 friends with you, you can look it up online and get the order that the bells need to be played in order to play the new theme song to the game, also known as the, I believe, just the Iron Lord's song. You do not need to ring bell number 6. The order itself, for those who would love to know and don't feel like looking it up, is actually pretty easy. It's 1 2 3 1 5 4 3 2 3 1 3 4. If memory serves me correctly. No, I'm just joking. I'm looking at it right now. It's 1 2 3 1 5 4 3 2 3 1 3 4, and it makes this lovely tune, and it unlocks you achievement. That's confirmed for both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I did get that achievement earlier in the game. So let's get back to the game itself. Again, Lord Saladin, he is who you're going to talk to for a bunch of missions. We have our Cryptarch up here. She's the one who decodes all of your weapons. Her name is escaping me. I cannot remember it. It is Tyra something. Tyra Karn. And then last but not least, we have our new Exo over here, our new Exo Hunter.
They're protecting something.
Known as Shiro. He is standing in for, I believe anyway.
Splicer threat is escalating.
Hey, look at that. He's got a new quest. It would have been nice if you had, had a banner over your head telling me.
Has proclaimed himself the devil's newest archon. He believes Siva is the path towards godhood.
Alright, so I need a ton of weapon parts anyway, and while I'm here, I'm going to buy a few. I'm going to take a look at what kind of heavy requirements I got. I'm okay on heavy materials for now. Alright, so I'm not going to do it right now because it is going to take me a long time. It's not particularly easy. You see this lovely gentleman up here running around like a fool. He is trying to get to the very top of said mountain, which can be done. It is not an achievement, but you can get up there. This was something that people found out pretty quick. And you start here. And basically one jump at a time, you can make your way slowly but surely up the mountain. There is a Siva fragment at the top. That is a collectible item for this DLC. I'm going to get to the very first plateau, which is just a few steps ahead of us, and give you guys an idea of how high this damn thing really is. Well, you cannot collide with people who are not in your party team or your fire team, so that guy didn't knock me off. I just fell. Alright, so this is the first plateau. Yeah, still can't even see the top. Now, you don't go all the way to the top, but you go pretty damn close. You run down to the left from the first platform. I'm going to die, however, because I jumped off the wrong area, unfortunately. Now, also, unfortunately, if you fall too low, you start at the bottom. And if you get higher than that first plateau, it will then give you 2 chances to die before spawning you all the way back at the beginning. It's a hell of a climb. I've made it a few times. If you want to check out, I've got some nice screenshots of that out on my profile. You can check out Mad Mardigan 007. It's my gamer tag on Xbox, and you can see some of those awesome screenshots. There we go. We can see the full mountain from here. Yeah, that's the top of the first plateau at the top of the screen there. That's where you have to go. Basically right below that peak-ish. It's a hell of a climb, folks. I'm not going to bore you by watching me die 47 times. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into Mission 3 If you'll give me just 1 second, I'm gonna pull up the name of Mission 3, which I believe is the Plague Lands. Alright, so you can patrol the Plague Lands, however, that is not to be confused with the actual level, the Plague Lands. That's what the one that we're going to go into. Now you'll see on my screen when I go into my main map here, it looks like just an absolute kind of cluster, and if you saw my Titan, it would be even crazier, because I have missions everywhere. I have missions on Venus that I do need to do. This is stuff from the Year 1 raid. It actually should be really, really easy to do now, I would hope. But it is part of the raid, so it requires a 6-man team. That, I believe, is a requirement. I'm not sure that you have to have 6 players, but you have to have 6 players if you plan on doing it easy. There are a few things, though, that else are on the screen. So here we have our ability to go into what's called Crucible. This is multiplayer map. A lot of these things have icons over them that indicates which DLC it came out with. This lovely icon right here, you also see it over here, is the Taken King, which was their last gigantic DLC, which is basically almost like another full game. It gives you recommended light levels for various things. Right now I am, I believe, light level 346. Yes, indeed. And I've pretty much capped there. The reason I've capped there is I have not been going crazy. Wife was out of town last week, so we've been spending our evenings catching up. But I have gotten at least one, the last exotic chest for my hunter that I did not have. There are several exotic chest, head, arms, blah, 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 pieces and weapons for every single character type. And let's move on. We can chat more. But as you see, these are missions that I do need to do. So these are ones that I have not completed yet. I have not done the first strike, the Wretched Eye, and I have not done the raid. It recommends a light of 370. Now, I have been told by a few people that it is insanely difficult at level 365, which is I believe, the cap. That's the cap before you go into the raid. So it will let me do the raid without 6 people, but I will probably die instantaneously. Anyway, let's go to Mission 3, the Plague Lands, and have at it.
The Iron Lords believed we could contain Siva by destroying the chamber where it was produced. These Fallen must have restarted the process. We need to get back into the chamber and cut off the flow of Siva at the source.
I think we need to focus on what we know. The Fallen have occupied a military bunker in the Plague Lands. We won't get any reinforcements in that area until the Fallen's artillery is taken out.
The Fallen are a symptom. Siva is the disease.
Alright. Vanguard reinforcements are standing by. But until those guns are down, they can't leave the hangar. I need you to shut them down.
Understood.
Alrighty. Let's get going. As you'll see, like most FPSs or first-person shooters, there is a waypoint in the heads-up display, the top left corner of my screen.
Guardian, there's a dead Vandal near you. Can you give me a scan?
Sure.
He's fallen, basically, but armor is enhanced. Weapons have been modified. Cybernetic enhancements.
Most Fallen houses have a sect dedicated to this sort of thing. They're called splicers. They're like body hackers, bioengineers.
It is worse than I feared. The splicers are not only using Siva to transform this place,
They are using its technology to transform themselves.
Alright, so that is why the weakest creatures in the game, aka the Fallen, are the big bad again in this DLC. They have augmented themselves with Siva,
Fallen have done some
which is some type of nanotechnology is the gist that you get.
Hope they're not using it to toughen up those
You're
gun
not sure the full
emplacements.
capabilities of it, and I might learn more
I've never
about
seen
that
the Fallen do anything on this scale
as
before.
I play through
I'm calling for more reinforcements.
the strikes. Oh, what's up, guys?
Said yourself, reinforcements will be useless
You can see
until
they
the
kind of
guns
look
are
like
down.
the Blade Runner girl
Besides,
from
they will not be
Kingsman,
prepared for what they'll
a Secret
find.
Service. They have blade legs, which they then kick the crap out of you with. Hey, what was that on your face, buddy? Why, hello. Yeah, you guys kind of couldn't see that, but I get blasted by a new attack that the dregs do, which is very annoying. You shoot them in the head and, yeah, their heads explode and they shoot like some type of gigantic beam of light at you. It happens when you get a one-time headshot. That, right there, it's very devastating. Really pisses me off. Alright, so let's move on to the next area here. Dear God, this was a bad idea. Those exploder shanks will absolutely murder you. Okay.
I thought Siva was technology, but this, it's like something alive, growing,
Indeed.
out of control.
These
Yes.
devil splicers are using Siva, but they cannot
The evil
control it.
Twizzler
They are like children with a
bioorganic
new toy.
weapon.
I don't know of any toys that eat Russian industrial complexes.
Alright, so now that I'm in this next area, you guys get to see, I think for the first time, the Iron Gjallarhorn Ride, or also known as the
Maybe it's not, but the Fallen are the ones pulling
also
the triggers
known
out
as
here.
the
Vanguard
Galler
wants them
Wing.
taken down, we take them down.
So you have a nice little Star Wars-esque pod racer, and this one is the Iron Gjallarhorn version of it, known as the Galler Wing. It's very awesome. Also has a very cool horn. That's what I'm talking about. I figured I'd try to run over a few of those
Just
guys
to
for
be
you.
clear, I don't like creepy tech that spreads like a virus. It gives people the wrong idea about artificial life forms.
This is true.
Detecting a high concentration of Siva shielding the gun emplacements.
Even Siva-enhanced shields would require an energy source. But be careful. There's something familiar about all this.
Right. Destroy the familiar generators and then take down Shiro's zombie guns.
Sorry, I'm gonna jump in here because I know there's a sniper at the top of this damn tower. He keeps shooting me. It's very frustrating. Yeah, so for those of you who haven't given the game a chance to play, I mean, I know that it's a ways past now, being in its 3rd year. But for those of you that also like to wait until a game has basically released all of its DLC, they don't necessarily have to be a first adopter. You can buy the game for $60 with all of its content, including the newest DLC and all previous DLC. Seeing as how that's the original cost of the game, you know, it's a decent deal. It didn't work out as well as I hoped, but it still was okay. When you hear that sound, it usually means that there's a guy running right behind you. Oh, really? Wow. Must have really overshot that one.
Shield power levels are dropping.
But it is a really fun game. I mean, its community is pretty large. The app for the community is actually pretty awesome. There's a built-in app that lets you do things like transfer materials between your vault and or your characters.
Shield is collapsing. Should be clear.
All right, that means I am getting the hell out of here. So there's no reason to stay around and fight those guys.
Splicers were creating a beachhead. Something of this scale could be used against the city.
Beachhead, the name of my favorite G.I. Joe, and summer activity. No, that's a bad joke.
So, those destroyed guns? Siva undestroyed them.
Undestroyed?
Look for a central SIVA node inside those emplacements. Destroy that, and it will break the Fallen's hold on the gun.
So occasionally you can grab weapons like this, and my dear God, the drop ships in this game are pretty devastating. These are engrams that I just picked up. It's basically, like I said, either weapon drops or I'm gonna grab another one of these because they are absolutely devastating. Fucker. You actually don't have to defeat these guns in any particular order. You can defeat them in any order that you like.
Keep it going. Air support is standing by.
I'm going to keep to the last one, and I'll tell you why in a second. So again, for you collectors out there who like to get items in the game, there actually is an item at the top of this weapon. Right at the end, you'll find a little SIVA cluster up here, and that's one of the collectible items in the game. I've already collected it this time around, so I'm gonna hit these things with everything I got right now because they are really powerful.
Great job. Hawks are inbound. Just
All
hold the
right,
area until
this
they
is where
get
the fun
there.
begins, folks, because I'm about to get one of the more devastating enemies in the game to drop in and say hello, which is
Shiro, I'm I'm pretty sure that air
also
support
known
isn't
as a
going to get here
walker,
in time.
or a fallen walker. They are invulnerable for the first few moments that they drop, so I'm not going to bother shooting them just yet.
Saladin. It's directing the corruption to resurrect the guns.
Fudge. Oh my, that's an exploder, Shank. They're basically the most devastating enemies in the game that are regular enemies, because they will just murder the ever-loving crap out of you.
It's working.
I would hope so. Alright.
Centuries passed,
So I
and
made that
have learned
fight
nothing.
look a lot easier than it
Shiro,
was,
get
because
your
I've done
forces
it about
secure
2 or
that
3
area.
times now, but
We'll do our best.
those fallen walkers, just gonna take out their legs. It's pretty difficult with most normal weapons.
If we are to
They
avoid
provide
the
these
mistakes
to
which
you
led us
in this
here,
game, this
he and
level,
must
I think
speak
probably
about the
because
fall of the
it's
Iron Lords.
more difficult as one of the earliest missions in the level, or the beginning of the game, that is. Alrighty. So most of these missions, they end up giving you rewards, and or they end up giving you directions to go back and talk to various people at the tower. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go right on to the next mission, which is download complete, but instead enjoy a cinematic.
This may not make sense to you, but it took your fight to remind me that immortality is not the same as invincibility.
I don't understand.
When the ghosts first found us, those who were chosen were blessed with power, but not wisdom. The Iron Lords came together in search of a solution to mankind's struggles. Instead, we found Siva. We dreamt of using Siva to build starships, colonies. We would become what the Traveler always believed we could be.
But something happened.
Siva had been lost to time. When Temur tracked it to the Cosmodrome, we thought our quest was finally over. Siva would be ours for the taking. Rasputin responded. More than 100 Iron Lords entered the Plague Lands. Only 9 reached the replication chamber. But since we were chosen by the Traveler and our cause was just, we were certain the day would be ours. Until Siva took control. It infected our weapons, our armor. The corruption puppeted us against one another. In the end, Yolder sealed the chamber with the Iron Lords inside, rather than let Siva escape. The battle was won. Heroes died. And our mistakes stayed here.
But Rasputin survived.
This is not Rasputin. But neither is it something I know how to fight. They are using Siva in ways we never even imagined.
How would the Fallen have learned more about Siva than the Iron Lords? Or better yet, where did they learn?
They haven't mastered Siva yet. This is all still new to them. See Tyra. She studied Siva's origins. If there's a way to track the Fallen's discoveries, she will know where to look.
Alright, so that's a nice little cinematic. One of the things that's being universally said about this particular DLC from everyone I know who's played it and most of the reviews online is, yes, it's a little bit short, but they finally mastered the way that they should have been telling their story all along. It's one of the weakest things about the Destiny game. It's really based a lot more on gameplay itself than I think it has been on telling a cinematic story. For those who have played, for example, Valve's fantastic Left 4 Dead zombie series, it kind of has a feel like that. Excellent gameplay. I just wish that it had given us the slightest bit of exposition and actually, you know, opened up the world a little bit. When you actually care about the characters, or you actually, you know, give a shit about the world that they're in, it just immerses you more in the game. At least that's my personal opinion. I think that a lot of people tend to feel that way about certain games. You know, obviously the Call of Duty crowd, they want to get into PvP and they want to kill each other. That's more their determination, and I understand that. Those things are all good and fine, but if I'm going to play through a campaign of a game, I would like it to have somewhat of a cinematic and I'd say an experience that delves into the story elements of that game a little bit more. And now one of the reasons for that is, you know, I mean, you're paying a lot of money for a game. If you're not going to get into the actual game and tell us why the characters are doing the things that they're doing, or who they are and what they're all about, yeah, like, kind of why do I care if, you know, a main character dies? I don't. So anyway, alright, so let's move on to mission number 4. Mission number 4 is the only mission that isn't on Earth. I believe it takes place on Mars. And it is known as Download Complete. That's the one.
In searching for more information on Siva, I discovered some recent unexplained phenomena originating near Clovis Bray.
That's deep in Cabal territory. I find it unlikely the Fallen would have had time to experiment in those labs undisturbed.
True, but there are records of Siva prototypes that were never recovered. They could be the missing link.
Lord Teemer spoke of Siva prototypes too. Very well, old friend. Let's follow this path.
You should be in the vicinity any time now.
Alright, mission 4. Hello. These are the Cabal. They are some of the stronger enemies in the game. Not these little small ones, also known as a Scion. Well, they can attack the hell out of you, that's for sure. But defensively, they can take hits just ridiculously. I mean, you can see what type of damage they're doing to me, and I'm basically getting hit by 1 out of 10 shots. Burn, burn in my void fire.
I can guide you to the biolabs, though it may take some investigation to locate the SIVA prototypes once you're there.
I have faith in our young wolf there.
So for those of you that like Star Trek, the Cabal, they basically have taken over Mars, and if you had to compare them to any group of people in sci-fi, it would be the Klingons. They are warfare people, and you know, honor above all, yada yada yada. Although, like the Klingons, they tend to be war criminals.
I'm not seeing any flashing lights advertising SIVA research. Maybe there's a console that can help us narrow things down. Okay, what do we have here? Huh. Who knew finding dangerous Golden Age archives would be so easy? There's an intact data store just below us.
Alright, seriously, buddy? So the phalanxes, they are some of the more difficult routine enemies in the game to fight. They are very difficult to hit, as you can see, because of their large shields. The joke is always, why don't they just make all of your armor out of the same thing that they make phalanx shields out? It's a good question. It's a valid question. Oh, sweet Jesus, that's a Colossus. And I totally fucked that up. Yeah, the Colossuses are definitely, they're probably the hardest regular enemies in the game. That is, ones that don't have a yellow name and hence are stronger. There you go. Really? Dear God, man. Yeah, it takes some ridiculous precision to hit the phalanxes in the head behind their shield. It can be done. I do it probably once out of every 30, 40, 50 times I try to shoot at them. It's not good odds.
Falling great distances is actually our specialty. Elevator shaft, anyone?
This is true. Hey, sit on your face.
The doors to the elevator shaft should be here somewhere.
Really? Alright, level 23, I need to go down to level 20, no big deal. Alright, so when you get that warning, respawn restricted, that means that basically you will only respawn at a checkpoint. You don't respawn in level, which you normally do. Really? Alright. Perfect grenade throw. Doesn't happen super often, but it's very nice when it does. Really? This is what we call ring around the rosy. It's one of my least favorite things about this game. It seems like the bad guy's AI is programmed to just run in a circle around something that is in the middle of you two. It's very frustrating. hello. Alright, again, for those who like collecting, if you jump up here, there is a SIVA cluster that should be found there. I already collected it this time around, but basically once you go into mission 4, you're going to find this panel. You're going to look right up there behind the monitor, and bing, bang, boom. Get yourself a SIVA cluster. You're probably asking why you have not seen any during this video, and it's because I've collected all of them up to the strike, which I have not done yet.
Cybernetic diagnostics. Exactly what the Fallen would need to. Oh, maybe later. We've got company.
Yes, quite a bit of company, in fact. Alright, that's what the Gallarhorn does. It kills large groups of people pretty much instantaneously. It used to be the whip back in the day, what's known affectionately as Year 1. And I'm out of ammo. Oof. So my party crasher shotgun has affectionately what the kids call a god roll, which is I can shoot on full auto. It's a gigantic waste of ammo when I do that, unless I have a guy right in front of me, and then it's pretty fast. It's not super fast, but gets it done.
I have to remind you, of all people, that I'm a scholar, not a scientist. Don't worry, old friend. Between myself and Shiro, we won't leave a single
I'm just looking for
stone.
ammo. It does carry over, actually, into the next map if you do go to a map next and not to Tower. So I don't see much activity in the chat. That's fine if you're not feeling particularly chatty today. But if you have any questions or thoughts, please do comment, and we'll be sure to get back to you with a comment, request, or reply. Or alrighty, I'm just looking. I got a few guys online right now. A few from the clan who seem to be online, that is, not on Destiny. Okay, I'm just gonna take a look and see what I got. So earlier I was mentioning weapon drops and such. You have three, I believe four, type of weapons. In terms of their rareness, you have what's known as uncommon. These are the weakest of the weapons. Sometimes you can get an uncommon drop that actually has some really good perks, I guess, for lack of a better word. I don't tend to keep them because they tend to be the weakest. Rare items are in blue. They tend to be stronger. In the DLC, they've become invaluable because you can rank up most of your other weapons 340. If you see some of my weapons ranked lower than that, it's because it costs a significant amount of resources to level them up. So it costs me at least one exotic shard, of which I have very few weapons parts and legendary marks. I have been using those like mad, which is why I'm very low on all of them. I do not need a 340 weapon right now. I'm going to drop that like a bad habit. And most of my green items I'm going to get rid of. I may keep a couple boots just in case I decide to level up these boots, exotic boots. But continuing, uncommon, rare, purple is legendary, and yellow is exotic. Yellow is the most rare and the most sought after typically, but you can only equip one exotic item at a time, both weapons and armor. There are some items that allow you to equip 2 exotics. Usually that is, again, extraordinarily rare. But let's move on to mission number 5, which I believe is the Iron Tomb. That's back on Earth. So this is actually the last mission in the regular DLC. And again, most people's complaint is that it's a little short. And yeah, I can't disagree with them, but
When the splicers started fusing SIVA into their systems, they created a massive
wait
network
until this
of
is done.
controlled nanotech. So, just like they took down our sensor grid, we're going to take down theirs. That should neutralize SIVA long
lives. You must
what I was saying is, I think Destiny really hit its stride as far as this DLC. It managed to do a number of things that some of the other DLCs failed to do. And one of the things that it failed to do was it failed to have, like I said, a really decent cinematic experience throughout the game. There were very few cinematics. Some of those things don't matter to people very much, and if they do matter to you, like they matter to me, as far as storytelling element in games that basically have existed for the last, 10 or more years, that's the way that they've been done. Even longer, really. To not have those elements in a modern game is a little... it just seems like an odd choice, frankly, and I'm not sure why Bungie had decided to go that route when they decided to, develop this game. I'm not sure if they decided to simply do that as a social element and thought that those social elements were going to take the place of some of the things that people expect, like some of the more common storytelling elements. But they have a lot of cinematics throughout the storytelling experience in this DLC, and it was a much welcome addition for sure, as far as I'm concerned, simply because it made for a more detailed and it made for a more enjoyable experience. Alright, this one's a little bit more complicated. I actually just did this mission to grab its final collectibles. It was a pain in the butt. Yeesh. I was gonna say, someone must be behind me.
Okay, tinkering with an unstable Golden Age reactor infested with SIVA. Child's play.
Ah, shit.
Wow, that was fast.
Maybe, but it won't last.
the The Iron Lord's original plan was to destroy the replicator in the Siva chamber. Yolda's explosion apparently only damaged it. So when you reach the chamber, you will need to finish what she began.
That
Alright,
won't stop the Fallen from
so...
using the Siva they already have.
There's more than one battle in a war.
Indeed, there is. Sorry, just checking something on the phone for a split second. It's my awesome horn you heard.
What was that?
Saladin said the Fallen couldn't control Siva. I'm guessing that disrupting their hold on it is having some adverse effects.
I wouldn't
Oh dear
celebrate too
god, the
quickly.
floor is lava. Mother scratcher. Alright, so...
Only a few of us reached the replication complex. The worst of Rasputin's defenses had already blanketed this entire area. Frames. Constructs. Some things I haven't seen before or since. They felt no pain. No fear.
All we've seen so far is Fallen.
And I missed. Okay. So again, for those who are prone to collect in-game items, from your entrance up here, you jump onto this ledge, and back in this hallway there's going to be a Siva cluster located right there. I have already grabbed it, but that's one of several that you do need to get in order to complete the collection. There's several on this
Last time
level
his
alone.
presence was almost physical. I think he was trying to communicate, but we did not understand.
How can you be so certain Rasputin won't get involved once we're inside?
The Vanguard still believe Rasputin to be simply a war mind. He hasn't been that for a very long time.
So the Rasputin stuff may seem a little confusing to people who haven't played the game. It should be. It's not necessarily something that's fully understood as to what Rasputin is. However, in the game, there is talk that Rasputin is what's called a war mind. It's essentially supposed to be a military AI that was created for the purposes of, I'm assuming, controlling military actions in some type years and years and years ago, before what's known as the collapse. Basically, when the world went to shit, and Rasputin was the strongest of one of the war minds. He was Russian, and Rasputin, apparently his AI developed over time to where he became extraordinarily dangerous. The Siva was apparently kept where Rasputin was located, and as such, he defended himself and his property vigorously. That's my understanding. And that also means that he definitely led to a lot of the deaths at the first cinematic of Rise of Iron. He definitely got a lot of the Iron Lords killed just through his own natural defenses. Seeing as how he is an AI, though, he knew what he was doing.
What about who's controlling it?
I have some leads on that.
Again, for collectors in the final 5th mission, there's a nice orb right behind this here monitor. Just gotta jump up and grab it. I've already got mine. Alright, so we are going into the Siva chamber. This is where... You gotta be kidding me. So close, yet so far. Come on, come on.
Why aren't there ever stairs?
Shit. I wanted to see if I could jump my way out of that endless fall there. The answer is no. The answer is absolutely not. Alright, so we are heading to one of the final areas, the Siva chamber.
Dark heart, young wolf. Be on your guard.
Eesh. Okay. Entering Siva's dark heart. That is to say, the final area in the DLC, at least the primary DLC. So these are the main missions, not including the strikes. Sometimes the strikes do include story missions that are important. I expect this one to be the same. Seriously, gotta be fucking kidding me. being a little cautious because this next area is the final area. I'm not playing on heroic, but with single player, it's a little hairy.
What would happen if someone found it? We were touched by the light. I didn't even know someone with the Traveler's Gift could die. Until they did. Find the replicator and deactivate it. Only that will stop the flow of Siva once and for all.
Alright, give me 1 second, folks. Alrighty. So this is the final room. Right here, already looking pretty messed up. That is definitely an axe, similar to the one that we saw in the beginning of the game. Also, whenever you see respawning restricted, that's a pretty good indication that the shit's about to hit the fan.
What's happening?
No, it can't be.
It's using the Iron Lord's armor.
I'm going to drop a 3 of coins. That is what is known as to increase your chance of exotic drops. Alright, so this weapon loses its ammo extraordinarily fast. You have to go near these fires in order to reload. You essentially absorb the fire. Alright, so that's 1 down. Unfortunately, 2 to go. Each one of these main bosses has a chance for an exotic drop. I'm going to drop 3 of coins for each one that I fight and kill. Alright. I am getting mighty hurt. Alright, so unfortunately I killed 2 of them simultaneously. I did get an exotic from 1 of them out of the 3. That's pretty good odds. You don't always get exotics from drops, even when you drop 3 of coins. Alright, well, it's a Bungie game, and you know what that means. When you beat the final boss, you get to run away from a gigantic explosion. I basically only have to make it through this door in order to survive, and I have made it that far, so I'm good to go.
Well done, my young wolf. Siva is gone, and the Iron Lords are at peace. Return to the Iron Temple. You have earned your reward.
Indeed. And I will return to the Iron Temple, if for no other reason than because I did get an exotic drop. I might have gotten more than one, I'm not sure. Sometimes you can't always see them. Sometimes they drop after you complete a mission. That's me right
The
there.
Siva replicator is destroyed. We found this near it.
Thank you. She would be honored. My brothers and sisters, I will see you again. Someday. You've given them back to me. Approach. There was a time that only Iron Lords carried these blades. There are many like this in our armory, but this one is new. It is yours, young wolf. You are the first of a new generation. Take your place as an Iron Lord.
Tower opening dust giant bounty. Resolving images now.
Your light is a weapon. Let me see its glory.
Consider my knowledge at your disposal. I rarely have use for armor anymore. Farewell. We're grateful for the help.
Dragon, that is your right, and it will arm you with a fire no weapon can match.
KD Bodiger, TYR. Let's see here.
Tyra can ask for whatever she wants.
Checking. All done.
Our light is all that will sustain us.
There are still more secrets to unearth. You once served me well long ago. I'll be here when you return.
Alrighty, so let's see here. 350. This is my max.
Hell's loose in old Russia. I pray the city isn't next. The Guardians will learn from this. If they survive.
These splicers have fortified an entire section of Cosmos Outer and protected you. Tyra knows how we got here. Saladin doesn't want to open up. She will. There's more going on here than just a quest for honor. Plague lands are a full-scale war zone. We cannot let up, or the Fallen will overrun the Cosmodrome. I don't mind solitude, but every now and then it's Saladin sees
All right, folks, that is pretty much the end of the primary part of the DLC. I will be doing the strikes, at least some of the strikes tomorrow, most likely. I might do some of them tonight, play a little Crucible, player on player. But that is the 5 primary missions of the main game. Let me know what you think. Comment on either the Culture Junkies channel, or you can comment on my channel. You can also find Culture Junkies, www.culturejunkies.net. And it's a really good pop culture website that does a lot of just a gaggle of pop culture stuff. We've got a really large group of guys on there. They're always posting things about various new pop culture things. They're pretty present on Facebook and Twitter. And we try to have people broadcast on Twitch fairly regularly. So if you like what you saw, come back. I'll be playing more Destiny in the next few weeks, most likely. And then maybe the next time I Twitch, I'll switch it up to something that's a little more popular. Maybe the newest Batman Arkham game. I know it's a little bit old now, but hope you enjoyed it, and come back and see more if you did. Have a good day.